to Shri Rohit Kansal.
Rural Development, Sri Rohit Kansal sir, Deputy Secretary Madam Dr. Monica IPS, my dear colleagues from the Government of Goa, other dignitaries, respected dignitaries from various states. We have representatives from the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Goa, and the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. So I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this program. Sir, last month when we came to know that we have to host this program, sir, we came to know within the last 1 month time that we have to host this program. So it is always a privilege to host any program of the Department of Rural Development, sir. Last year we had a function of financial literacy, and that went off very well, sir. That was just after my joining, sir. So when we had to come for conducting this program, we were very happy because we are going to get expertise from different states coming over to the state of Goa, so that there's a cross-learning experience, there's a mutual learning. The challenges and the opportunities of each state is very different. So we are having experiences, opportunities and challenges sharing from various parts of the country. We are having representatives from Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Goa, and from the UT of Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. So each state also brings in different perspectives from each district, because states like Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan are so complex that each district will be having its own challenges and its own opportunities. So this cross-learning platform actually helps each and every state in developing a very good understanding of the policy, a very good understanding of how different schemes are functioning, what modifications are required in each and every scheme. And one good thing which is happening at the Government of India level, which at least I'm just 7 years into service, but what I have seen is there have been lots of flexibility given in various programs of Government of India in the last few years. So this helps each and every state in implementing the schemes and programs to their particular geography or to their particular population. As you know, Goa has more of an urban population, so the challenges and the opportunities are very different. Like last week we had a meeting in rural development. For Goa, the self-help group has the biggest advantage that itself is the market. We have a good potential market which is very much in the vicinity of the self-help group only, which is very rare for other states or self-help groups in other states. So the biggest advantage for Goa as a state or the self-help groups of the state is the market which is available nearby, which is not the case with other states. So it's this platforms like this brings a lots of good opportunities for each state to learn from other people. So I'll just go forward with my duty. I'm here to welcome all the dignitaries here. At the outset, I extend a very special welcome to our chief guest, our Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant sir. Sir, your presence here today is a source of great encouragement for all the participants here, sir. Your presence itself indicates how strong your leadership is and how you are looking at the rural empowerment, sir. Because for such a program, your presence itself means a lot, sir. Thank you so much for coming, sir. I extend a heartfelt welcome to you to this program, sir. We are having the presence of our Secretary, sir, Government of India, Rohit Kansal, sir. So actually, when we went for a program, like for a meeting last week, sir, in Friday, we were there in Ministry of Rural Development. We had a very positive indication from sir. The way in which sir attended to all our, listened to all of us was very encouraging. And after 1 week, we are seeing sir's presence here in Goa, sir. And your presence means a lot to us, sir. Thank you so much for coming, sir. On behalf of the Department of Rural Development, Government of Goa, I extend a heartfelt welcome to you, sir, to this program. We are having representatives from Department of Rural Development, Government of India. Dr. Monica ma'am is here. Other representatives are here. On behalf of the state of Goa, I extend a heartfelt welcome to all the distinguished guests from the Ministry of Rural Development to this program. We are also joined by our representatives from Department of Rural Development, Government of Goa. Our director is there, our project director, DRDA South is there, our main person, Chief Operating Officer, Sangam Patil is there, and all the other dignitaries, the project director is there, Madam Juhi Batterjee is there. So I extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you. And we are joined by, as I mentioned in my inaugural address, like we have representatives from various states. On behalf of the Government of Goa, we extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you. I hope that the deliberations of the last few days from 24 to till today, till this evening, will translate into very good policy decisions and ultimately into very good implementation at the ground level, so that our rural population, especially our women population, our self-help group, gains a lot from such a program. So thank you so much for coming. I extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you once again. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for the gracious address and welcome. We are truly honored with your warm words and thoughtful introduction. Well, kindly note, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, that we also have with us Shri Amit Shukla, who is virtually present with us, JSRL1 MORD, Government of India. Let's all give him a huge round of applause. Well, we are now going ahead with our next address, and the next address will be presented by Srimati Monika Butunguru, IPS Deputy Secretary, MORD. Let's all give her a huge round of applause. Madam, we formally welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Chief Minister of the State of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant sir, respected Secretary Rural Development, Government of India, Shri Rohit Kansal sir, my colleagues, Secretary Rural Development, Goa Arjun, CEO Dipali Nayak, and all the dignitaries who are there on the dais, and all the members who have joined from the 5 states and 1 UT for the past, this is the 4th day now. First and foremost, let me thank Goa SRLM for doing a wonderful job in hosting this workshop. Goa, as always, is very always does a very good job at hosting, and Atithi Devo Bhav is their spirit. Sir, I would also like to tell you that Goa is doing very well, Goa SRLM, in the whole Day NRLM SAG ecosystem. Goa is a front runner and has been doing very well in the past years. Let me start with a story. Can I have the presentation, please? Let me start with a story. Imagine there are two sisters, both have been brought up in the same family. They get married in two different villages and they join SHG at the same time. Today one is a Lakpati Didi and one isn't. So they have had same upbringing, they have same educational qualification, but one is a Lakpati Didi and one isn't. It's not a coincidence. It's because one belonged to a mature cluster level federation, a mature institution, and the other didn't. This has been proven even in the evaluation reports, which have clearly stated that a household which belongs to a mature model CLF earns income which is multiple times in a household which is not a member of a mature cluster level federation. With that learning, we realized that we just don't need to expand our institutions. We need to improve their quality. We need to improve their governance. We need to fulfill the original idea of self-governance, self-sustainability. With that idea, we started with a concept. So presently we have 10,000 model CLFs out of a total of 34,000 model CLFs in the whole country. What we plan to do in the next 5 years is to have 500 Swavalambi model CLFs. These will be the emergent sites from which other model CLFs will learn. To undertake this process, we changed our strategy. As what we need is bottoms up, our strategy should also be not top down but bottom up. So instead of just inspection, we decided that we should have a collaborative responsibility on how these emergent sites are to be developed. With that vision in sight, we developed the national supportive framework with us. And over the past 4 days, the workshop has been able to sustain that. Next slide, please. So what we understand by national supportive supervision framework is that the federation, we need to expand our federations into more qualitatively better and mature federations. And the relationship between the national team, the state teams and the field teams should be built in such a fashion that it's a collaborative responsibility. Next slide, please. We realized that instead of, we need to move from observation to action. So the whole planning, there was a planning tool, sir. The whole planning tool realizes that that all the states pick up the mature model CLFs and using that planning tool, which includes 5 pillars of governance, HR management, financial management, livelihoods, and social indicators, we understand we need to hold accountability, we need to hold ownership within the system. After that, at the end of that exercise, the whole region has finalized 35 Swavalambi CLFs. This is the target for 1 year. So for the current financial year, 35 CLFs will be, model CLFs will be graduated into Swavalambi CLFs. These are CLFs which will have operational self-sufficiency. The state of Goa has picked 2 CLFs. So the end target will be by March 2027, these 2 CLFs will be able to earn its own revenue so that it can support its cadre. It will have at least 80% of its DDs will be Lakpati DDs. And the social indicators, so in the sense that there will be rotation of the leadership will be rotated, will be established. So 4 days, very extensive, very intense workshop has been done, sir. What the states take back is a very concrete action plan. It is not just an observation. We picked up a very scientific method where the gaps were, where the field visits were done, gaps were identified, and finally an action plan which includes timeline, which includes who is accountable for what, has been planned out. Next, please. Overall, what we plan at the national level is a 4-fold thing. First is establish. So this workshop is the first step towards that establishment. As we go ahead, we will deepen, sustain, and lead, in the sense that once an emergent site has been declared as a Swavalambi emergent site, it will become a resource center. Other model CLFs will come and learn from it, and they can charge a resource fee. Once 4 such rounds have happened, we will declare that it's a sustained emergent site. And it's a lead because it will teach, there's a peer learning mechanism where other CLFs will learn from this CLF, and we hope that there is it is filtered further and the whole because by 2047 Viksit Bharat goal is that all 34,000 CLFs are converted to Viksit CLFs. Next slide please. By the end of this financial year, we aim that out of these 35 model CLFs which will become Swabalambi CLFs, we will identify at least one CLF per state which will have a potential to become Viksit CLF. A Viksit CLF is a CLF which is a community in itself, which does not need us. Like in the last workshop, I remember someone saying that hum rahe na rahe, CLF hamesha rahega. So with that spirit, we would hope that each state is able to demonstrate at least one cluster level federation. So it's a group of around 3,000 households. So it has potential, scale, aggregate all the resources so that it can survive on its own. Next slide please. So with that I will close saying that every strong institution begins with a shared vision. This workshop is the first step towards that. I wish all the participating states that they fulfill their commitment and together we move towards Viksit Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Monica Butunguru, for the very, very informative address. May I now respectfully call upon Shri Rohit Kansal, Secretary MORE Goa Government of India, to kindly address the gathering. We welcome you, sir.
Honorable Chief Minister of the State of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawantji, Secretary Rural Development of the State of Goa, Shri Arjun Mohan, my colleague from Department of Rural Development in the Government of India, Dr. Monica Butunguru, colleagues from State Rural Livelihood Missions of Goa and other states such as Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, Daman and Diu. Thank you very much for inviting me today to this National Supportive Supervision Framework Workshop, which is the third of 5 such workshops that we are holding across the country. We are deeply honored that the Honorable Chief Minister has found time to visit this workshop, and we thank you, sir, for not just sparing the time, but by coming here sending a message as to how important this activity is to the state of Goa, and how deeply the state of Goa values the participation of other states and union territories who are present here. We also thank you, sir, and your Secretary Rural Development for efficiently hosting this conference and displaying the warmth and hospitality that Goa is justly famous for. We cherish and relish every visit to Goa, and this visit certainly is no exception. Please accept the gratitude of the Government of India and of the participating states in this conference. Today is the concluding day of this conference, and the states and the union territories present here have been debating for the past 3 days on one important question. What is the kind of institution that we want to build for rural women? As my colleague Dr. Monica just pointed out, what is this institution that will outlast all of us? What is this institution which will lay the framework for not just poverty alleviation, but for enterprise, growth, sustainable and resilient livelihoods? All of you come from the Rural Livelihood Mission family. So the achievements of this mission over the past 20 years are themselves something to be proud of. 10 crore women federated into 1 crore self-help groups, over 34,000 model CLFs, 34,000 CLFs, 10,000 of whom are model CLFs, nearly 9 crore community resource persons, 5 crores Krishi Sakhis. This is the world's largest organization of this kind. And what has this organization achieved? It has mobilized women into self-help groups. It has unlocked access to formal credit of over 13 lakh crores with the leverage ratio of 1:20. Every 1 rupee that has been given to support these women and these groups has resulted in unlocking of formal credit of 20 rupees. With fabulous repayment rates, NPAs of less than 2%, that would be a banker's delight anywhere in the world. And the credit of all this success goes first to the women themselves and then to all of you present in the room who through industry, organization have made this possible. But having achieved this success, the question that we are asking ourselves, where do we go from here? And how do we build the institutions that are going to multiply this success, that are going to institutionalize this success, and that are going to outlast any one of us? The National Rural Livelihood Program has rested on the strength of the cluster level federation, which has been the linchpin of the cluster level federation and the National Rural Mission architecture. It has given women in the grassroots a collective voice. It has given them aggregation. It has given them economies of both scale and scope. And it has brought along with it livelihood promotion, social action, financial inclusion, convergence with Panchayati Raj institutions, convergence with other line departments, health, gender, hygiene, and most important, a voice. On the farm front, it has exposed them to agroecological practices. On the non-farm front, it has resulted in incubation of rural enterprises and skilling initiatives by exposing them to DDUGKY and RESET. It has helped market their products through brand building initiatives, SARAS, One District, One Product framework, so that women can capture a fair share of the value chain that they build. Therefore, when we talk of a model CLF, we are talking of a CLF which is just not organization. It is organization plus plus. It is not just an institution of governance. It is an institution of growth, enterprise, resilience, and sustainability. A model CLF, or its even more model avatar, the Swavalambi CLF, is, as its name suggests, self-dependent. Self-dependent not just in the activities that it conducts, but also in its financial deal. And this is the platform through which thousands of individual livelihoods will become economies of scale, aggregating produce, negotiating better prices, holding working capital, running enterprises, supporting their individual members through credit, through support, through resilient enterprises, through vulnerability reduction enterprises, through capacity building, through training, and through skilling. And this is the pathway to envisage which we are holding these workshops, the third of which is being held today. We plan to hold these workshops twice a year to begin with, and later on once a year. And as Dr. Monica has pointed out, the objectives of these workshops is to sit together and devise a pathway through which we can convert our model CLFs into Swavalambi CLFs. Therefore, the focus of this event is not the speeches we make, not the discussions we undertake, but what remains after the speeches and the discussions have ended. The real measure of these 4 Bs will not only be the quality of discussions, it will be what happens after we leave this room. At the end of the day, all of you will be presenting your action plans. And when you present your action plans, we will be looking at 4 things. First, what are your commitments? But each commitment must carry a name and a date, not a designation, not a department, but a name and a date which we expect fulfillment of. Second, what gets measured gets improved. What is therefore our information system? What is our MIS by which we will determine how many CLFs we are converting into model CLFs? Therefore, we will be devising an MIS for you, and we would like all of you to not just fill that MIS, but also monitor the parameters that constitute that MIS. If you begin to measure it, you will certainly begin to approve it. Third, our Panchayati Raj institution linkages must move on from being goodwill to just being co-invest. We must learn to converge, we must learn to co-work, and we must learn to co-invest. And finally, each state must ensure that its plan carries a clear enterprise pathway for every Swavalambi CLF. What will the CLF produce? How will it ensure quality? How will it ensure certification? How will it ensure branding? How will it ensure packaging? Whom will it sell it? Who will provide the market linkage? What is the aggregation required to ensure that the product produced by the households of the CLF is in tune with the demands of the market? And if there is a dissonance, who will plug that dissonance? If there is a gap in the value chain, who will plug that gap in the value chain? Eventually, it is only when we are able to link these products and the produce with the larger market that both the households and the CLFs will become Swavalambi. The Honorable Prime Minister gave us 2 mantras on this Independence Day. One, he has exhorted us to transform 3.47 crore Lakpati Didis into 6 crore Lakpati Didis by 2029. Second, he has asked us, why can the produce of my rural areas not find a place in global markets? And this is the unlock that all of us have to carry out in conjunction with our Lakpati Didis, in conjunction with our cluster level federations. The journey to Viksit Bharat 2047 will not be built through infrastructure and growth figures alone. It will be built through strong communities, empowered women, and self-reliant institutions. Women-led development in its most practical form means women-led enterprise. Rural prosperity will be built one enterprise at a time in dairy and agri-produce, but also in retail and services, also in local manufacturing, and each of them anchored in an institution that women own, build, nurture, and sustain. I thank all of you for joining this workshop, and I wish all of you the very best in this journey towards creating not just Swavalambi CLFs, but also a Swavalambi and a Viksit Bharat. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Sir Rohit, for the very informative address. It is now with great privilege I'd like to invite our very own Dr. Pramod Sawant, the Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Goa, to address this gathering. Let's all give him a huge round of applause. I formally welcome you, sir, and invite you.
Ministry of the Rural Development Government of India had the zonal workshop on the National Supportive Supervision Framework NSSF for this special program amongst us. Sri Rohit Kansal, Secretary for the MORD Government of India, Dr. Monica Buttuguru, the IPS Deputy Secretary for the Ministry of the Rural Development, our own Secretary Sri Arjun Mohan IAS, and Srimati Dipali Naik, Director RD. सबसे पहले गोवा में जितने सारे ऑफिसर्स गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, दमन, दीव, उत्तर प्रदेश यहाँ पे आए हैं, गोवा सरकार की तरफ से गोवा की इस पुण्य भूमि में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ। मुझे लगता है कि 4 दिन के इस वर्कशॉप में इस अंडर द विजन ऑफ ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी फॉर द विकसित भारत, द रूरल डेवलपमेंट किस तरह से करना है, विच इज अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ आवर ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर श्री शिवराज सिंह जी चौहान। रूरल डेवलपमेंट करने के लिए सबसे बड़ा कंपोनेंट और इम्पोर्टेंट कंपोनेंट कोई है विच इज वुमन एंड देन द फार्मर। और वुमन कंपोनेंट वो आपके यानी एक्चुअली वुमन एंड फार्मर बोथ द डिपार्टमेंट्स इज विद द मिनिस्टर श्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान। इसीलिए रूरल डेवलपमेंट करने के लिए आपका डिपार्टमेंट बहुत मायना रखता है। आपने देखा तो इस बारे में बहुत ही अच्छा एग्जाम्पल डॉक्टर मोनिका जी हैड गिवन। सो देयर इज एन 2 cluster level federations, 2 sisters going into the different, and 1 sister, I think one sister of the लखपति दीदी, she is from the cluster level federation of the गोवा का ही होगा, तो उससे that is a plus point for the गोवा मैं कहूँगा। लेकिन डेफिनेटली आई एम कॉन्ग्रेचुलेटिंग ऑल्सो फॉर माई रूरल डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गोवा। दे आर डूइंग द वंडरफुल जॉब। और जिस तरह से गोवा जैसे छोटी स्टेट्स में जो काम हो रहा है, इसके लिए मैं उनका पहले बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन भी करता हूँ, और उनके आगे के काम के लिए उनको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं भी देता हूँ। ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर का जो विजन, जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत वो आगे लेने के लिए जो स्वयंपूर्ण गोवा ये जो मुहिम हमने जो चलाई है, उसको ज़्यादा बूस्ट एग्रीकल्चर, हॉर्टिकल्चर, पिसीकल्चर, फ्लोरिकल्चर, डेयरी फार्मिंग, इस सभी एक्टिविटी में वुमन एक्टिविटी की तरफ से जो आगे ज़्यादा बढ़ाने का काम यानी रूरल डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री ने बहुत सही से किया है। विच इज़ अगेन फॉर द फार्म एक्टिविटी एंड नॉन फार्म एक्टिविटी, इसमें भी यानी उसको ज़्यादा पुश देने का काम जो रूरल डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से किया है। मुझे लगता है कि ये काम आगे बढ़ाने के लिए जिस तरह से स्वावलंबी क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन की बात यहाँ पे कही है, गोवा में ऑल टुगेदर देयर इज एन 18 क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशंस आर देयर, 2 क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशंस व्हिच हैज कन्वर्टेड इनटू द स्वावलंबी क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशंस व्हिच विल बी द रोल मॉडल फॉर द क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन फॉर द बाकी सभी सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के लिए काम करने के लिए इस क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन से काम आगे जाएगा। मैं इस वर्कशॉप को शुभकामनाएं देते हुए मैं ज़्यादा बात नहीं कहूँगा, लेकिन एक बात ज़रूर कहूँगा कि ऑनरेबल पीएम का जो विजन है विकसित भारत, विच इज इन एवरी सेक्टर, इज टचिंग टू द एवरी सेक्टर। 15 अगस्त की उनकी स्पीच आपने देखी होगी, विच इज डिपेंड ऑन द 4 कंपोनेंट, विच इज इन युवा शक्ति, नारी शक्ति, किसान शक्ति एंड गरीब कल्याण। तो ईच एंड एवरी सेक्टर आज के दिन में अभी आज सुबह कार्यक्रम जो अटेंड कर रहा था, तो ऑनरेबल पीएम इज टॉकिंग विद द यूथ, खेल की बात विद युवा, इसके लिए उनके साथ वो बात कर रहे थे। इसीलिए यानी इस 4 कंपोनेंट को मायने रखते हुए इस देश का विकसित भारत का विजन किस तरह से कंप्लीट हो, इसलिए उसका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन या विजन डॉक्यूमेंट तैयार करके यानी पूरे सबको साथ में लेके इस विकसित भारत का विजन कंप्लीट करने के लिए वो आगे बढ़े हैं। उसमें जैसे मैंने कहा कि द वुमन कंपोनेंट विच इज़ वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट, द 50% ऑफ इस देश की आबादी जो वुमन है, इनके लिए जो जो कुछ कर सकते हैं, जिस डिपार्टमेंट से कर सकते हैं, इसके लिए वो आगे कर रहे हैं। और इस बिल्कुल इस वर्कशॉप के थ्रू आपने जो 4 दिन में मुझे लगता है कि जो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को यानी थ्रू द क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशंस यानी आपने हर एक स्टेट्स का जो प्रोग्राम शेयर किया है, हर एक स्टेट की जो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस शेयर की है, हर एक स्टेट के लिए वो यूज़ आ सकते हैं। गोवा जैसे छोटे स्टेट्स में लिए कंपैरिजन विद द यूपी, राजस्थान, महाराष्ट्र, गोवा बहुत ही छोटी स्टेट्स हैं, लेकिन छोटी स्टेट्स होते हुए टूरिज़्म के दृष्टि बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट स्टेट है, टूरिज़्म के दृष्टि बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट मायना रखती है, विच इज़ 100% लिटरेट स्टेट। और उसी स्टेट्स को यानी बाकी स्टेट से यानी महाराष्ट्र, यूपी से भी यानी वुमन सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को और क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन के लिए यानी उनकी भी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस यानी वो सीख सकते हैं। यहाँ वो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस एंड दे कैन प्रैक्टिस इन आवर स्टेट्स, और इसी के थ्रू क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन बहुत ही अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं। मैं आज के इस वर्कशॉप में दिस इज एन क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन यू आर डेवलपिंग इनटू द इंस्टीट्यूशन फॉर द फ्यूचर जनरेशन ऑल्सो। जैसे और एक बात डॉक्टर मोनिका मैडम ने कही, हम रहे ना रहे, क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन रहना बहुत ज़रूरी है। दैट इज़ अ टू इम्पॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि इट इज़ बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस जो हमारे क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन जो लेती है वो आगे आने वाले जनरेशन के लिए बहुत मायना रखते हैं, आगे आने वाले जनरेशन के लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रखते हैं। एक दूसरे से यानी हम जो क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन उसी में हर एक उस सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में जो वुमन रहती है उनके लिए जो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस पढ़ाते हैं, तो उसको खुद को यानी उसका खुद का बिजनेस बढ़ाने के लिए, चाहे वो लखपति दीदी होने के लिए, वो बहुत ही मायना रखते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो सपना देखा है 3 करोड़ लखपति दीदी से 6 करोड़ लखपति दीदी बनाने का विद इन अ शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ अ टाइम, ये सपना आप लोग भी वो सही करेंगे, और आप लोग जितना जल्दी हो सके वो जितना जल्दी वो सपना आप लोग यानी साकार करें, यही मेरी शुभकामना है। आज के इस वर्कशॉप में ढेर सारे जो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस यहाँ पे हैं वो एक दूसरे के साथ साझा करते हुए आप लोग यानी आप आपके स्टेट्स में वो प्रैक्टिसेस आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, ऐसी मैं आशा रखता हूँ। और गोवा में विच इज़ अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 3,538 सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप, अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 45,855 members, those who are involved in these self-help groups. They are approximately 1,031.95 lakhs has been dispersed as a revolving funds, 2,987 lakhs as a community investment funds, and 177.80 lakhs there is the viability gap funds. And most importantly, the self-help group have accessed more than 468 crores of rupees थ्रू द बैंक लिंकेज। गोवा जैसे छोटे सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में ये पहले कभी पॉसिबल नहीं था। मैं कभी कभी मेरे स्पीच में कहता हूँ 2014 से पहले किसी ने पूछा हमें समझो 1 करोड़ भी लोन मिलेगा क्या, किसी सेल्फ हेल्प ने जाके भी पूछा होगा तो कोई इतना लोन नहीं देता है। इतना 468 करोड़ ऑफ रुपीज़ जो लोन मिला है सिर्फ एक ही गारंटी के ऊपर, इट इज़ द मोदी जीज गारंटी। अदरवाइज द नेशनल बैंक्स ऑल्सो इतना पैसा सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप और वुमन के लिए कभी नहीं देते थे। इट इज़ ओनली एंड ओनली द मोदी जीज गारंटी के ऊपर इतना पैसा अपने सभी सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को दिया है, विच वी आर सीइंग यानी उसके एक्चुअली बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस भी हमें देखने के लिए मिलते हैं। मैं आज के इस प्रोग्राम में फिर एक बार आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देते हुए विच इज़ एन मॉडल CLF इम्प्लीमेंटेशन बहुत ही ज़्यादा और जितने जल्दी हो सके गोवा के 18 CLF यानी मॉडल CLF बने, यही मेरी शुभकामनाएं। और फिर से एक बार सभी यानी बाहर से लोग जो यहाँ पे आए हैं यानी रूरल डेवलपमेंट करते हुए विकसित भारत करने के लिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो सपना है कि विकसित भारत 2047, उस सब में हम साथ में मिलके काम करें, तो ही it is possible है. It is not the job of the Honorable Prime Minister as the Chief Minister alone, but it is only possible if we come together, then only it is possible. हम सभी साथ में मिलके विकसित भारत का सपना पूरा करेंगे. यही कह के मैं मेरी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant, for your inspiring and very insightful address. Your words of guidance and encouragement are truly valuable to us. Thank you, sir. To now deliver the vote of thanks.